Oh, hi guys, welcome back, Forza guy. Right, so part 4, frame. So, this frame came from Scotland, so she did a little bit crusty, but structurally 100% better than that one. Talking of which, when I was saying in the videos, even though she was that one, was a cat hen, I always said I didn't trust certain things. Looks to be the stem on that one, basically to give you reference, this thing here, that, because it was smashed I believe on the left hand side, looks to be about 2mm out. So I suppose this is a good opportunity to frame swap really. But yeah, so you join me today, obviously same year, 2017 frame, registered under a 67 I believe. So obviously what we're going to try and do with this is clean it up. Probably won't fully see in this video because obviously there's a lot of time process, but you're going to obviously see me basically brush rust and just go over her basically. But yeah, if you ever wanted to know what a Honda Forza without anything on it looks like, other than a steering stem, which is another story, that's what she looks like. Not a lot to it. To give you an idea, obviously your engine, your fuel tank, and obviously your front wheel, but you obviously know all that. But yeah, there's not a lot to it, so let's get going. So basically when we're cleaning her out, basically anything, see what I mean, around the rust welds, around the welds, we just want to give that all a good clean, because what I'm going to use here is I'm going to use some rust preventative to stop it, and then I'm going to put some like hammerite on it, and hammerite's going to be thicker than factory paint, because we all know the factory paint's never really very thick. So yeah, that's my intentions, is to obviously rust treat it, clean it up, rust treat it, hammerite it, and then we'll just literally go over the welds with ACF 50, and I think that's the best course of action. And hopefully what you see now, which looks a little bit cruddy, will actually come up quite nice. So yeah, if you want to hang around for a few minutes, watch me clean the frame, please do. Or as I say, you will see in further in the video me cleaning the rest of the bike up. But yeah, if these are the sort of videos that you like, please consider subscribing. You know, as the title suggests, we are rebuilding a Honda Forza 2017, and if I've never mentioned it, this is the 125 model, or the 125, but the 300, for this year at least, the 300 is the same frame, obviously a bigger engine, but she shares the same thing as the 300. But yeah, as you can see, look at all that muck coming off there. You want to get all right around them hangers and have a good job here cleaning this off up. But yeah, so as I say, this one is a fully legit frame. She's not been crash damaged, she is clean. From the guy that I'm so grateful that donated it, Gus. Sadly the engine popped on this one, I believe the crank went, so that's why she sort of was taken to bits and used as spares. I'm very grateful for Gus. donating me the frame, because as I keep mentioning, and I'm sure you're tired of hearing it, obviously Rita is getting old, and we do need to really get his finger out his backside now and get this built and get just under a 20,000 mile Forza back on the road. This frame has got about 30,000 miles on the clock, but 18,000 mile engine. I think, to be honest, by the time we've done what we needed, it'll be a good looking bike. Yeah, so obviously clean her up, sort her out. I'm also going to take her off the tripod. I'm going to show you some of the parts, just to basically give you an idea what actually goes into one of these little bikes. Yeah, I mean, I've opened every box up now, whether it be the parts off this one or the parts that came with this one. So yeah, I'm going to take it off that pod. I'm going to give you a little tour of said parts. Are we ready? Right, so you now join me in my hand. So yeah, obviously, as I was saying, we're going to go through with parts and stuff. So let's start over here where the frame is. Right, let me pull up a chair and listen to my stories. Once upon a time in Honda Forza world. So for those that don't know, this is known as your headlight bracket. Basically that, which obviously attaches to the front of that. That obviously houses your headlights, mirror mounting points, everything that basically you need for the front of your bike. I think we can all understand what that is. Your seat tub, fuel tank. Right, shall we go for a parts tour, shall we? Are we ready? So, headlight. Hopefully that's working, and we've got a replacement. Front, you know that front shroud I was on about, where the headlight sits on? That's it there. Back wheel panel. Panels, front fender. That obviously is known as your starter, alternator. Basically that spins off your crank around that produces electrical sparky wonderful things and goes back into your battery and keeps your battery charged. Obviously we can see what these are. Tail light. What are you going here? Seat catch. Radiator. Clutch. As I say, if I'm unable for some reason to find a clutch compressor tool in time, I believe this clutch bearing, and basically the clutch bearing is, see that there, that's your needle bearing, and that one there right down the bottom, that's your other bearing. That is what makes that horrendous noise on the rear wheel. I.e., if you've all forgot, that is what causes that noise. So obviously moving along, exhaust that I've not untaken out. Here is your thermostat, variator, basically your weights go in there, rear plate, that goes into there. So water pumps, 2 of, but you only need 1. That's off the actual frame I'm cleaning up right now. That holds your engine. I've got a few other parts here, side panels. That's a mix of broken parts from the other bike. This is something you don't generally see every day. The inside of one. There is a 125 piston. That is what runs your little machine. Provides you all the power. And said cylinder. And I think I found one. I'm hoping this one looks pretty clean, no vertical scratches, does have its cross hatching. I am really hoping this could be the replacement head. There is also another carboned up piston. I'm hoping this could rebuild Rita. Obviously I would have to buy the crank being about 500 quid from Honda. Yikes. And here's another little thing. So this is your cylinder head. So when you basically go to a garage and say, can I have my valve clearances done please, this is what they do. Stick a feeler gauge in there, adjust these, obviously intake, exhaust, and basically they test for that lash there. It's very difficult for me to try and replicate on the floor. Well, yeah, that is your 4-valve cylinder head. That's your camshaft, the exhaust and inlet ports, lambda sensor, and your little cover. So yes, and that is basically about it for parts. So there we go. If this is not enough to tack this lot off of here and transfer it onto here, then I desperately would give up at that point. But yeah, so that's what basically all goes into it, and we are hoping to obviously rebuild this and yeah, get her on the road and hopefully retire Rita for the short time being, and get this one, well, not on this frame at least, but this said machine up on the road again. Now I don't know whether this camera is going to pick it up, but basically straight in front of you there, that stem, just basically at the base of the handlebars, try and give you an idea. Here. Now this might not appear on camera. It's very difficult. Let me just try and give you a comparison. Right. Now if I'm holding that for a few seconds, just keep your eye on that stem, that middle stem. Right, I'm going to switch now to this other frame. Now I know obviously she's incomplete. Now I don't know, I'm trying to hold the phone as steady as I can, but from my eyes on that other frame it appears 2 mil over that way at the top. That there, because it's basically been whacked here, seems to have gone over a little bit. And the reason why I suggest that is if I go down here onto this frame, let's see if I can put a light on for you. No, it won't. Basically, we have, now I know obviously corrosion's happening and whatnot, But basically what we've had going on here is splintering, like it's stress fractured. As basically the bike has sort of had the shock wave and flexed in the crash, it seems to have got splintering marks here, which suggests that that is a little bit thingy. You know, as I said earlier, it's cat end. It could still be usable, it could, but you also suggest, I also said to myself, if that is 2mm out, hypothetically speaking, does that affect all the steering, handling and whatever? You can see why, as big as a project as it may seem, I am going to obviously switch her over. And we've got half of the nose off now, so why not? Also, stanchion legs, these are off the other frame. I'm probably going to use them because it's very difficult to say as to whether that, it looks straight, but 40 mile an hour, well, just look at the damage there. It's ripped that whole fender out of that, you know, and that's what I believe has happened. That bike has hit, and literally that wheel has gone like that. It's basically just gone bang. But yeah, so I'm going to wrap this one up. Hope that's gave you an insight as to what we are currently doing with this frame, or I'm doing with this frame right now. Hopefully in the next part you will see a whole lot better frame. You won't see any of this rusty nastiness. I'll have got it treated, hopefully painted, and hopefully, fingers crossed, I'm going to buy a special spanner to remove this nut here. This locking nut, not bad. This I need to get out. I need to drop this whole steering stem out, and hopefully whilst we're at it we'll have whole new bearings, because, well, you've seen what the nose of this bike, how much stuff physically has to come off to get to these bearings, hence the cost in the garage, why it's so expensive. Whilst it's just like this, we might as well strip it back completely, renew anything that's worth doing, like the bearings. So yeah guys, thank you very much for joining me again. Hope I'm not waffling too much, but obviously a project like this don't just need a video on a said item. It does need some form of narrative to give you a better understanding of what I'm trying to do. But yeah, thank you very much guys. I'll speak to you soon. Bye.